Shut up and sit down.
Hey, I'm Simon from Nerd Safari, and if you enjoy this, please hit that subscribe button right there for more nerdy goodness. Now, I found this movie when I was really bored the other night. I was Googling for something to watch, and in the top new movies that were streaming, I found not only an indie flick, but amazingly, an indie flick starring some of my favorite actors. And I quickly checked out a review of this movie, and the first one I found, I think it was designed to be a negative review, said only video game nerds would enjoy this. And I thought, hey, that sounds pretty perfect. So if, like me, you are a proud video game nerd, join me on a voyage of nostalgia as we dive into Max Reload and the Nether Blasters.
Imagine hundreds, if not thousands, of nether-possessed game junkies like your friend here, just running through the streets, running amok.
It's up to us to stop it.
This is like a movie!
Dude, really? This movie looks dumb. It's got 4 out of 10 on IMDb. Seriously?
Oh, negative Simon. He's always worrying too much about what the critics think. But this movie must actually be pretty polarizing, because on Rotten Tomatoes right now, it has a whopping 86%. But regardless of what the critics think, this movie is absolutely silly and goofy in a pretty lovable way. So if you love movies like Kevin Smith's movies in the View Askew universe, like the Bill and Ted style movies, you'll probably enjoy this one.
Stop him! Step off, bros! Another dick!
Now, right out of the gate, this movie feels like very familiar territory. It feels like we're back in the world of Clerks, but also movies like Wargames, like The Last Starfighter, like Tron. And while we've obviously sadly aged a few decades since then, so has that world.
You tell us what the hell is going on here.
Oh, you want an origin story?
And you don't even need to watch the blooper reel at the end of the movie, although you absolutely should. It's hilarious to know that the cast are having a blast when they're making this. Now, first up, you've got Kevin Smith, who is in his element playing a video game store manager, no longer a clerk. And he spends half the movie buried in a VR haptic suit, doing everything from working out at a virtual gym, eating virtual pizza, even hanging out at a virtual mall as, you got it, a virtual mall rat.
Unless the store's on fire this weekend, I am not to be bothered when I'm jacked in.
Hey, and did I ever mention that we've met Kevin Smith a number of times, and he is probably one of the cooler human beings that you could hang out with? Fine, enough about that. Wil Wheaton, although getting top billing on this movie, actually only lends his voice as the narrator, but he still brings a really authentic sci-fi flair to the movie. And one actor who seems to be having the time of his life is Greg Grunberg. We obviously know him from Heroes and even Star Wars. In this movie, he plays a crusty old video games developer who has to fall into the role of the hero's mentor while still living at home in his mom's basement. Just amazing.
You're
Eugene Wilder, yeah, the one and only. And you are Max, right?
And even Martin Kove, who you probably remember as the evil sensei from Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, is actually pretty lovable as an unconventional grandpa who likes to fill up water pistols with alcohol. So if nothing else, watching this ragtag crew helping a group of nerdy gamer kids bumble their way through a video games world come to life should at least give you a chuckle.
I knew it was only a matter of time before the Harbinger found his one player, the one man capable of truly unlocking.
My boy, the chosen one.
Chosen pawn. Chosen pawn, and we're not even sure. Maybe.
As for the gamer kids themselves, they're actually very entertaining. Top of the pile for us was Liz, played by Hassie Harrison, who gets out some great comedy one-liners throughout the film and manages to avoid falling into that boring trope of the typical love interest. Reggie, played by Joey Morgan, is a very close second in my opinion. He also gets some great comedy lines, and despite the number of Samwise Gamgee references, he manages to avoid falling into that stereotype of the hero's fat nerdy friend.
I know it sounds nuts. I mean, I've been wanting to play this game since I could hold a controller.
And Tom Plumley, who plays Max himself, manages to portray really well a nerdy gamer who's got just a little bit too much ego and probably needs to be brought down a couple of pegs before he's ready to save the world.
You are the prize we seek now, Max.
For a movie that's determined to completely divorce itself from reality, these characters actually feel pretty real and help to anchor the movie in something that we can relate to.
Power grows with each soul committed to the game.
Okay, well, if we're going in there against the Nether, then we're gonna need firepower.
Let's rock!
So, is this a good movie? Well, probably not. But would it put a smile on your face if you're from a generation who loved things like CalicoVision, Atari, and Commodore 64? Absolutely yes.
Come on, all those people out there!
What would happen if the game went mobile?
I'm Simon from Nerd Safari. If you enjoyed this, please hit subscribe and please strap in and buckle up because you're about to go on a journey of nostalgia if you choose, and you should, to watch Max Reload and the Nether Blasters.
Shut up and sit down.